So I said earlier when Jordan was on that when she was talking about the release of the book that they have under PTP Press, that the author Nikki Anthony, who is the author under their umbrella, was going to be on the show tonight because I wanted to have them both on the same night to discuss this new venture. And so Nikki Anthony is in the house at Black Authors Manor TV. And welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
And Jordan was singing your praises. She was really
you were a busy lady. That's what she told us.
That you were promoting. You were doing a lot of self-promotion of your new book. And you had a marketing plan.
I would tell you that is brave because, and the reason why I say it's brave is because we are in a society now where people are trying to look down on self-promotion. If you're telling people about your book, you're telling people how great it is, you're trying to get your name out there. There are people who can say, all she does is try to promote herself and keep talking about that book. Right. But yet, if you're quiet and you don't say anything, why didn't tell me you had a book?
Exactly. Exactly.
And your sales will reflect that.
Yes. It does. It reflects your effort. It truly does. It reflects your effort for sure. But at the end of the day, like nobody's gonna promote you like you. So, you gotta do it until you get tired and say you turn blue in the face. At the end of the day, like you gotta go hard for you, So that's something that I have learned. You have to take your career, your life, your everything into your own hands. You cannot expect someone else to drive it by the horns and and do it. You gotta do it yourself, So no shame there. It's no shame there.
So your book is called The Price We Pay. Do you have a copy of your book with you?
I do.
Can you show us the cover?
Yes.
It's a very nice cover. And that's a hardcover.
Yes, this is the hardcover. This is a hardcover edition.
Okay, what made you decide to go with a hardcover? Because a lot of people are doing paperback, they're doing ebooks. What made you decide that you want to make that investment into going hardcover as well?
We wanted to do something different. We really did. And then the hardcover was just so like when we got it in our hands, when we opened the box, we were like, this is a beauty. Like this is timeless. Because we knew the content that was on the inside. We knew the quality of the work. We knew the body of work was priceless. And we were like, you know what? We want to put it out there in the best form possible. We want to introduce it to the world the best way possible. There's nothing wrong with paperback. There's nothing wrong with like an ebook edition, but we were like, you know what, we all in. We want to make sure we give it our all. And when we opened that box and we looked at these books, we were like, this thing is amazing. So we knew we had made the right choice when we went with like the hardcover version.
Okay, so is it in paperback too? Or just hardcover?
It will be in paperback. Right now it's in a hardcover, and then Christmas Day it will actually be releasing in the ebook edition. So
wonderful. On Christmas.
Yes, on
That's
Christmas Day.
Okay.
Yes. It's on pre-order right now. So it can be pre-ordered right now. And then also because I am a Pathfinder. I don't know if Joy Lynn mentioned that to you guys.
No, she didn't say a word. She didn't say a word. I'm gonna have to talk to her about that.
I am a Pathfinder. So one of the things that Joy Lynn taught us during her conference was that we needed to always make sure we have like companion pieces. And a companion piece to the novel is a cookbook, and it's titled The Southern Palette of Buzzardville. So any reader who orders the hardcover edition or the pre-orders the ebook edition, which is to be delivered on Christmas Day, will receive a free copy of The Southern Palette of Buzzardville. All you have to do is just shoot me an email with proof of purchase to my email at letstalk@nikkityanthony.com, and we'll shoot them a free copy of the companion cookbook. And it's pretty much the recipes that the characters enjoy throughout the novel. And we also wanted to just create something for readers to be able to enjoy over the Christmas holiday, the Thanksgiving holiday, the New Year holiday. We wanted to just give something special as a thank you. So if you get out there and you order it, you'll get your free copy.
Okay, I love it. I love it. Well, tell us what
Thank
the
you.
book's about.
Yeah, sure. So the price we pay, it is told from the perspective of a 15-year-old Black teenager who experiences a rash of deliberate attacks against both herself, the people that she loves the most, which in turn it causes her to have a loss of faith in humanity. That is honestly written from the perspective of like real life events. From I always tell people like in a sense I am Zanetta, because as a teenager, I'm super transparent. I had my own bouts of having a loss of faith in humanity, a loss of faith in humanity because of loss of a lack of opportunities, lack of resources, racial inequalities, living in poverty. So those are all things that the book really touches bases on. So although it's told from the perspective of like a fictional standpoint, it's a lot of our realities as minority. I know for myself, it was my reality growing up, and I just wanted to take something. It was honestly writing, and it was my therapy. It was a therapy that I didn't even know that I needed, because I grew up in Chicago in a housing project. So we had like an extreme amount of poverty, and at that time it seemed like it was normal, but it wasn't. It wasn't something that was normal, and I knew it wasn't something that was normal because I would go to the public library across the street from my home every single day, and I would read and from 9 to 5 just so I could escape my reality. I was in love with like Terry McMillan. I was in love with Eric Jerome Dickey, and I would read those books. I could smell the air. I could hear the birds chirping, like just any reality that would separate me from what I was living through. So the book is very similar to my own reality.
Wow. So the characters in your book, did you base them on people who were around you, so to speak?
So to speak, yes. I based them off of experiences, life experiences, like especially the life experiences of my own, the wisdom of my grandmother, the wisdom of my grandfather, the character of my grandfather, just the minority household. And, because a lot of people don't come from the places that we come from, right? So I think that it's very hard to judge someone when you don't know or you don't understand where they come from, their background.
Right.
But if you understand people a little bit more, you'll be less likely to judge them. You'll be less likely to pass, your thoughts about them on to other people. Like, so a lot of the characters are honestly things that people I've come across, like experiences that I've lived through firsthand. I'm a firm believer that I don't talk about what I don't know about. I don't write about what I don't know about. I'm not gonna write sci-fi because I don't know nothing about sci-fi. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I do.
I can only write about what I know about. So, and that's what a lot of people, like a lot of you can only write what you know, if you want it to be like a good body of work. So it's from experience.
Yeah, you can do research, but it still has to be close to your wheelhouse.
It
Like
does.
like you said, sci-fi, like I don't even understand it really. My husband is a Trekkie. He loves Star Trek, all of them. Like he'll just watch them. He's seen them, multiple times. But I don't. That's just not. I like things in the now. I like history,
Yes.
but I don't like the alternate reality stuff. Is hard for me to get into. But I really admire people who can create other worlds, and
Yes.
it's the whole thing. A whole nother world, people, traits, characteristics in the characters. There's all kinds of stuff. That really
Yeah,
takes a vivid imagination.
it
And
does.
does. It does.
And
It
it's
does.
a growing genre. All of that,
It
the
is.
sci-fi and the fantasy, that's a growing, those two genres are growing.
Now,
It
did I
is.
hear Joy Lynn correctly when she said you've been working on your book for a number of years before you decided to finally have it published?
Yes, about 5 years.
That's what I thought I heard her
It was
say.
about 5 years.
So
Yeah.
what made you finally decide, okay, now is the time?
The just watching what young people were going through every day. We would turn on the news. You know, if it wasn't Trayvon Martin, it was Tamir Rice. It wasn't Tamir Rice, definitely George Floyd. When the George Floyd tragedy took place, I was like, you know what? And we felt that around the world, like the entire world felt that. It was a moment in time where we knew those things were happening to us. We knew those things were taking place to minorities, but it time paused. And I was like, you know what? It's time to just release it. Like it's kind of one of those things where it was honestly eerie. Um, it was super eerie, and it was almost as if those things had come to light, because like one of the things we tell people, like, it's honestly the To Kill a Mockingbird of the 21st century, but from a Black perspective. So for so many years I was afraid to honestly release it, because I was afraid of like the backlash. I was afraid of like what people would think, what people would say, and I know we are like in a different time, than Harper Lee was, but I was super afraid to release it. But like I think that at the brink of like everything that was happening with especially like our Black teenagers, everything that like when it happened to George Floyd, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is it. I felt like that was my pivotal moment to like, you know what, now is the time. The book is about having a voice, speaking up, not being silent, and I was like, this is the time. We cannot continue to be silent. We got to learn how to have like hard conversations about what's happening out here. We got to learn how to sit down and talk to each other about what's happening, getting a perspective from other people, other viewpoints. A lot of things can honestly be solved with like simple conversation for those who are rational and are receiving of it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, this is time. I didn't want it to just be a novel. I wanted it to be a movement, and I wanted it to be something that would spread positive change, but in the form of storytelling.
Okay, now in the time that we have left, although I know Rhonda, feel free to chime in with questions that may not be along these lines.
Okay.
But I do, Joylyn, she talks so much about your marketing. And for authors who are self-published or traditionally published, that sometimes people who are traditionally published kind of sit back and expect the publisher to do everything. And they don't have the results that they would like because the publisher is expecting them to do. It's like they're both of them expecting the other one to do it, and it's not getting done. So you had some very innovative strategies with your marketing. And so just share. Well, I want to know, how did you do the thing in Times Square? How did you make that happen?
You know what? Honestly, Times Square was one of those things where it was a friend of a friend, just being good people to people. Like I try to be a good person to people. Everybody I meet, I try to touch them and be positive in one way or another. I try to make sure that, I'm giving what I would want to receive from other people. So just people that I meet in passing who really super believe in my project, or people that I network with who super believe in my project or believe in what it is that I'm doing. It was honestly a friend who had a connection of another friend and was like, Merry Christmas. It was a Christmas gift, so it was a Christmas gift. It was a Christmas gift. So I was like, I think that speaks to the testament of my character. It speaks to the testament of the type of person I am. I'm a firm believer that the same people you meet going up will be the same people you meet if you got to fall back down. So, I just networking with people, and you just meet good people, and just putting the project in people's face, to the point to where people are like, you know what? I see how hard you go. I see how important this is to you. Let me do something for you that's just as equally important. So many people will ask me, like, what do you want for the holidays? What would you want for Christmas? And I'm like, I don't want you to do nothing for me, but you can do something for this book. You can buy them in bulk. You can you can get a billboard. You can do whatever you want to do, but don't go into no store giving these stores your money for little old me. Support me by supporting her. And the friend listened, and that was the result of it. So
That's a good friend.
yes.
Well, a lot of times things happen because some of it has been at the right place at the right time. A lot of it is treating people like you want to be treated, operating with integrity. I tell people that if you operate with integrity, you can't go wrong. Even if people do you wrong, you can't go wrong because you know you've done what's right. I'm gonna just tell a quick story about something that happened to us years ago. We were featured in Ebony magazine, and it was when we first launched Kush City, and a friend of mine in Chicago. Do you know Yvette Moyo? Have you ever heard of her? She used to have a event about Black techies. So she was in Chicago. Ebony magazine asked her, does she know they were doing an article about Black people in tech? And I have a big, I got one of those frame things on my wall with the article me and my husband were in. And they asked her, they were looking for a female. They didn't have any females in the article. And since my husband and I worked together, that worked out as a female, they were on deadline and they needed it in like 2 days. And we got the picture in and we ran Ebony magazine. So that you just never know.
You never know.
You never know. You never know.
And you know, that was
in the
when
right
it was
place at the right time.
Yeah, it's right place, right time, responding to people when they contact you. And so, you know, things like that happen when you operate with integrity. Your integrity is more important than just about anything.
I think every author on here, and I'm gonna do it too. Every author on here should just get on, make a Facebook post and say, for Christmas, all I'm asking is that you buy one of my books.
That's it.
I don't care if you buy it directly from my website. I don't care if you buy it from Amazon. Support one of my books. That's all I ask for. That's the cheapest present.
Especially because they can even download the ebook, and that's
that's even cheaper.
That's even cheaper.
It's priceless.
That's amazing. I was thinking I wasn't expecting you to say that about the Times Square thing. Favor, but you know, but those kinds of things do happen, but you have to be working. People invest in people who are working and doing.
They want to see you hustling. They don't want to see you sitting at home waiting on everybody to do something for you.
Exactly. Exactly.
But now let me ask you this, because I've been hearing a lot of entrepreneurs say this. I have a friend who gets lots of grants. I'm like, girl, who did you get to who did you hire to do all your grants? She said, girl, I just apply for a different grant every week. And so and I've heard her say that. And then Joy Lynn was on earlier and was talking about the Chicken Soup for the Soul people who did 5 things for their book for 2 years straight. And then I'm looking at everything that you did to promote your book. And I'm guessing that you were on some type of a schedule as well, whether you were doing 1 thing a day, 2 things a day, 5 things a day, what have you. So you were able to get a lot of success, but let's talk about the work, because everybody hears, oh, she got an interview here, she got an interview there. I really want you to talk about the work that you put into making that happen. This wasn't something that just happened overnight.
No, absolutely not. It definitely wasn't something that happened overnight. It was a lot of long hours, sleepless nights. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of determination. But if you see an end goal, you can keep going, you know. So for me, I'm super calculated. You know, I've always been super calculated. I'm the kind of person, like, when I know what I want, I'm going for it. I'm getting it. You know, people be like, "Oh, the sky's the limit." Nah, I'm going past that. Like that's just how I am. You know, like I'm not gonna lie. I work everybody to the bone, and I appreciate my team because they're absolutely amazing. I did not do it by myself. I will not lie to you. You know, and a lot of people think that it takes a whole lot of money. It takes a lot of you. If you got the right people, I would rather have 3 people that is going to, you know, we gonna get together, we gonna get this thing out the mud, we gonna do what we gotta do together, than 330 people or 300 people that's gonna be around me and do nothing. You know,
Right.
so it don't take like a whole lot of like an entourage of people to get stuff done. You got you a solid good 3 or 4 people, 2, 3, 4 people,
That's
you good.
that's the big part about it. You're right. You don't need a huge team. You need a
You don't.
dedicated team.
You
Right,
need a dedicated team. You need a
right.
dedicated team. It's not about the
The
quantity. It's about the
quantity.
quality of
Quantity.
people
Mm.
that you have working with you. So the quality of people that I had working with me, they understood, you know, and it was one of those things where I was like, you know what? When we were building this thing out, I said, listen, I don't need like if you don't believe in the project, that's fine. Like I required everybody who came on those rough drafts, those beginning stages, to read the book, to kind of, you know, it might not be where it needs to be right now, but you get an idea where we're going. If you don't believe in it, that is totally fine. And Joylene actually did something similar. If you don't believe in it, it's totally fine. But I need you to believe in this book like you believe in your soul. So when I'm not in this
Yes.
room, when I ain't around, and you in the room, I need you to be confident, and I need you to be me. I need to be confident that you gonna do what you got to do and bring and speak on this book like it's yours, front to back, and you're gonna represent it like you would represent yourself. So that was my biggest thing, you know. And when I got people, when I got those team of people, and I wasn't mad at the people who didn't, you know, didn't understand it or didn't see the vision, but I focused more on the people who were like, "This is gold. I'm with you. I'm with you when you're right," you know. And I focused on the quality of those people. And then me and those, my group of people, we just did what we had to do. You know, we stayed focused. Back last year, you know, I was like, dang, summertime coming. I gotta miss out on all the hot parties, all the trips, you know, all the fun, all the barbecues. But I was like, you know what? I had already decided I'm gonna give myself a year of all work, no play, no fun. And that's how I did it. And even going into 2024, I've decided, like, even though the book is out, the book is here, we've made that same commitment, like, okay, it's here, it's out. 2024 is 2.0, no play, no fun.
Right.
But you gotta be dedicated. You gotta be dedicated. It takes an extreme amount of consistency, and it takes an extreme amount of, you gotta be determined, you know. Um, but you can't, it's not gonna happen if you don't believe in yourself. It's not gonna happen if you don't believe in what you're doing. You know, so for me, I believed in my product, you know. I believe in what I put out, I believe in the content. Um, and I felt like it was worth it was worth the while. It was worth the journey that we were about to go on.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, a lot of times, uh, well, this is the saying I've heard, and I repeat it too, that if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Everybody would be doing it. That's true.
You know, it's not easy, and that's where the determination and consistency and all that
Yeah.
come in,
Yep.
because you have to, and you have to have a plan.
You do.
You have to
You
have
do.
a plan that you execute, and then you have to check the plan as you go, and sometimes you have to adjust the plan.
Yep.
um, you have to, listen to advice that's
Hmm.
constructive advice.
Yes. You got to be open to feedback.
Yes.
You know, you got to, and one thing I for me, like I've always said, like I'm very open to feedback. You know, And then it's not what you say, it's how you say what you say. So if an individual is good about how they convey something, I'm like, okay, cool. Like some people, they don't know how to take feedback. Some people don't know how to have discipline. Like, but for me, like I have an extreme amount of discipline. For me, I take feedback. I'm not the smartest person in the room, but I always tell people, like, I like to be in the middle, in between. I like to be, that person that knows something in the room and under the people that know more than me. So I like to be in the sandwich, right in the middle. But I also take feedback from people, and that's super important. If you want to go far, you gotta learn from other people, because you don't know everything. But if you keep yourself in that box of, well, I know everything, and I want to hold these things to myself, and I don't want nobody else to teach me anything. I know this, then you probably won't, you'll probably go fast a little way, but you won't go far.
There you go. There you go. Now, tell me this. I know we have about 3 minutes left in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Are you in this literary game to stay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, ma'am. I am. Yes, I am.
That's all I needed to hear.
Yes.
You put in way too much work to say you're one and done.
Oh, yeah. I put in too much work to be like, yeah, I'm out. I'm head on out. Nah. I'm here to stay. I'm laying the groundwork. I feel like this is the foundational work. It's necessary. These days it takes an extreme amount of work to, get people to trust you, like, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about people trusting you. People are trusting you with their dollar, with their money, with their coin. Coin purses getting tight out here, people, you know what I mean? So you got to prove yourself to people. So you got to do the work.
Well, you keep doing the work. Congratulations on the book. Congratulations on your marketing success. And I look forward to not only reading this book, but to reading your future books. So I'm going to hold you to your word that you're in this literary game to stay.
I am here to stay. I'll be back. I'm here to stay. You got me. You stuck with me now. So I'm
okay.
We friends. All right.
We friends. I see you. We see each other. We here.
Okay. Well, Nikki, congratulations again.
Thank you.
And for releasing your book, and also for having a mentor like Joy Lynn. That's a big deal.
She's amazing. She's amazing. She is amazing.
Amazing energy. She's always upbeat. I've never seen Joy Lynn not, smiling and energetic ever. And I've known her for 20 years. So
she's amazing. She's amazing. I told my husband years ago when I first went to her first conference, I was like, I got to get to this lady conference. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know if I'm going to hitchhike. I don't know if I'm going to go in somebody's luggage, but I got to get there. I'm going to get to Vegas. And she was so accommodating. She was super accommodating. She was like, you know what, just get here. And I was like, okay, God, this is a sign. And at that time, I did not know that that years later, I knew that I talked to her about editing the book at the conference. And I was like, I got this project I want you to work on. I don't care how much you charge, and I'm come up with the money. But I had no idea that years later, she would be the individual that I would partner with, because this is truly a partnership with her. I had no idea that she would be the person that I partner with. But would I do it with somebody else? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. She's amazing.
Yeah. Well, Nikki, The Price We Pay, go get your copy, everybody, by Nikki Anthony. And there we go. And congratulations again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Best wishes to you.
Thank you so much.